In the previous videos of Mysteries from the Beta, we explored Mario 64 Beta using a recreation ROM. They seem to have been enjoyed from the amount of views and likes I'm getting. Thanks everybody for your support. But now I've come to realize that I cannot finish this recreation ROM on YouTube. It's way longer than I actually expected it would be, and I have a very slow internet connection, meaning that I can't really upload YouTube videos at a very fast pace, unfortunately. So, rather than tease you with more footage of a game which I cannot finish, today we are going to talk a little bit more about various facts about Mario 64 Beta in a Q&A style format. I'll be going over various legends and supposed facts about Super Mario 64 Beta that could or could not be true, or maybe a mix of all of the above. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a lot of information. As I said earlier, today's video is going to be comprised of questions and answers. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in here. What is Super Mario 64 Beta? Super Mario 64 Beta is a version of the game that was released before the actual retail version. It had many differences, such as a different heads-up display, different levels, and allegedly a host of internal code differences. Has a ROM ever been dumped of it? No, not at all. You will see many ROMs claiming to be the real 1995 build, the real Space World build, the real Super Mario 64 Beta build, and there are no versions actually that you can download that are legit. Maybe one day it will be because of some things I'm going to mention in just a minute. How do we know it exists if it's never been found? This is not just the figment of Elvis's imagination. The most common footage was from 1995 Space World. Shoshinkai, or Space World 1995, is a sort of convention where a bunch of game companies got together and showcased their most recent consoles and games. If you know Super Mario 64 at all, you'll know that Super Mario 64 was released in 1996, a year after Shoshinkai 1995. That's where the beta build comes in. The beta build was released on small arcade-like consoles, but around Shoshinkai 1995 for people to play. Those arcade consoles contained the beta build of Super Mario 64, much like the recreation you see being played here. Every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized. This relates to the theory that there is a personalization AI in Super Mario 64 that can add, remove, or create its own assets. However, is this real? Recently, it's just become an excuse to explain away all of the weird things that happen in Super Mario 64 and make people's creepypastas and stories more believable. This also could explain why, when playing someone else's copy of Super Mario 64, sometimes it feels slightly different than your own copy. I have experienced this some. However, the question still remains, is it real? Well, in the beta version, it may have existed in its full form, but in the regular game, it does not exist in its full form. I think that it may be able to change various basic things about controls, such as jump height, running speed, and things like that. I think since it doesn't exist in its full form, that it can't actually add in dormant assets or create total levels most of the time. However, some of that stuff is up in the air, so that is one of these may or may not be true ones, and I'm going to leave it at that. The Wario apparition is a supposed phenomenon that happened when the player is in the Dire Docks painting area where Wario comes out of the painting, says, "You want fun, Wario show you fun," and then he proceeds to chase the player and then catches them. Question is it an actual anomaly in Super Mario 64? No. This is just a creepypasta made after the advertisement, which is the same thing, just without Wario chasing the player. Maybe someone at Nintendo joked about putting something like this in the game. I'll give the people who created this that. But this is a fake, as in it's not actually in the game. First things first, what is L is real 2401? Well, that. L is real 2401. This is a theory that Nintendo was hinting to the fact that Luigi's model is in the Super Mario 64 files. L standing for Luigi. People also reason that Nintendo doesn't hint unless they have a reason that it's a game trick. So a lot of people believe there's a way to unlock Luigi in Super Mario 64, but there really isn't. He's unused in the main 64 game. Although this was one of the primary changes in Super Mario 64 too, with updated textures and various other things. There are a couple of different categories when it comes to personalization AI enthusiasts. The people who believe it and haven't researched it, the people who researched it and think they know, and then the people that know, which is just Nintendo at this point. Maybe you've decompiled Super Mario 64 or looked at deep compilation, and you think, okay, the personalization isn't real because you were looking for a folder that said something like personalization, AI, or Stanley, or something like that. Well, let me introduce you to obfuscation. This is when a programmer intentionally makes the code hard to read with the intention of keeping it from being reverse engineered. With something as quote-unquote secretive as personalization AI, if it exists, it would have definitely been obfuscated to keep other companies from decompiling and recreating this effect and system. It's definitely another thing to think about. With that, that's the end of this mystery from the beta, and the end of our crusade through Super Mario 64 beta. There's more exciting content coming up, so subscribe. Thank you for watching.